Dear friends, welcome back. I'm your teacher, Ashok Rajguru, and you are attending the Biochemic Remedies or Biochemic Therapy course. In this short video, we shall be taking a look at the terms organic and inorganic. Increasingly, we have been using the term organic for vegetable produce, farm produce, and even waste. So just we'll take a quick look at what this term really means. If we were to define organic in terms of biology, all of us are familiar with the term organism. An organism is actually a living thing. And a living thing is something that will grow, it will reproduce, and importantly, it will react to a stimuli. So even an amoeba, which is a single cell organism, will react to stimulus. It will grow and it will reproduce. So an organism is something which is an individual living thing. It's an entity by itself. An organism is built up of various organs, and those organs are the functional parts of an organism. They are actually made up of a group of tissues. For instance, we can call the heart, the lung, or the kidney, or the liver as independent organs of an organism. So what does all this tell us about organic? It is something that is relating to or derived from a living organism. So common things that we meet and encounter in everyday life, like our food that we eat, the cloth that we wear, which is derived from natural resources like wool or cotton, that's organic stuff, or wood for that matter. So there are a host of other things which are derived from a living thing, an organism, and that's what we call as organic. Let's take a closer look at the differences between organic and inorganic and try to understand the term a little better. Organic is stuff that is derived from material that was once alive, and importantly, it contains carbon. Of course, there are exceptions, carbon dioxide, for instance, or sodium bicarbonate that you use for baking your cookies. They are containing carbon, but they are considered as exceptions and they do not belong to the organic categorization. Here is what we could say about organic substances in terms of the chemistry. They are compounds of carbon when carbon is bound to hydrogen. That's one qualifier, but that's not an absolute definition. And this is from the Encyclopedia Britannica. Here is a definition of inorganic compounds, once again from Encyclopedia Britannica. Inorganic compounds are made up of two or more chemical elements, usually other than carbon. So once again, the definition is not very clear even from a reliable source like the Encyclopedia Britannica, because what you see in the brackets or parentheses is usually other than carbon. So it's not an absolute definition. If we were to look at some examples which people normally consider as organic and inorganic, here are a few of them. Sugars. Here is one particular formula for a sugar. Alcohol or any kind of alcohols. And of course, complex molecules like DNA that you find inside the cells of living matter. Inorganic, you could say examples like carbon dioxide. You have carbon, but it is not combined with hydrogen. So under that loose definition, it is considered to be inorganic. Table salt, sodium chloride, inorganic. Silicon, an element, inorganic. We must remember one thing, that all organic substances are essentially having inorganic roots. And I like this graphic because it presents it very well. If you look at a plant or a tree, Essentially, what it is doing is it is converting inorganic stuff into organic stuff. The process of photosynthesis is extremely complex and very little understood even today. That is part of the reaction chemistry which converts organic stuff into inorganic stuff into organic stuff. So we can say that the roots of this tree or this process are rooted in the chemical science of inorganic substances. And those substances can easily be categorized in the periodic table of elements. We shall be taking a look at that periodic table in a later video. If we look at the human body, it's a very complex assemblage of different compounds and substances. However, there are a lot of inorganic constituents as well. And those constituents, some of them are listed here. Here are 12 of those inorganic constituents. We'll talk about these later, so I'm not going to expand the names of each one of them, but you shall be encountering, and our whole course will be based on the study of these 12 inorganic constituents of the human body, which make up our repertoire of the 12 tissue salts. That brings us to the end of this video, and what we saw was the difference between inorganic and organic substances and their origins. We saw a few examples of both. We saw how plants work as engines that convert through a very complicated and complex process of photosynthesis to convert inorganic stuff into organic stuff. Also, we saw that the human body consists of a lot of organic matter, but it also has many inorganic salts. And it is 12 of these inorganic salts or compounds that have been used as tissue salts. Dear friends, thank you very much for your attention. And once again, please do not hesitate to post your comments and your questions. So I take leave from you, and bye-bye.